Hey folks, I got so many comments on my last video regarding what would I tell my 25-year-old self. So many comments and so many views. I really had to come out with an honorable mention list. That video blew up just like I hoped it would. I came out with my 5, and then I just got inundated with other great pieces of advice for your 25-year-old self. I still stand behind my 5, but there were dozens more great ones, so I picked 5 more that I'll call honorable mention, that just great advice for your 25-year-old self. Number 1, know the power of compounding interest. Man, I wish I knew this at 25. As an example, $500 a month saved for 30 years at 10% interest is $1.14 million. $1.14 million with a total invested of $180,500. So that's 6.3 times the amount. Compounding interest. You earn interest on your interest on your interest on your interest. Just amazing fact that you must know. You got to capture that. And think about when you're in a 401k program and your company matches 100% of 6%. So you're just getting that 6% that the company's giving you on top. You earn interest on that and interest on that and interest on that. It's ridiculous. So the power of compounding interest is a great one. Number 2, you are the average of your 5 closest friends, who you listen to, and what you read. So who do you pay attention to on YouTube? What kind of books do you read? Who are your friends? You're going to be the average of all that, okay? That's what you're going to become in life, okay? So pick your friends wisely, pick what you read wisely. If you don't want to read anything, you're not going to advance yourself, okay? It's really that simple. Reading is a great career, life, human being accelerator. Number 3, be a lifelong learner. These are related, but they're different. Happiness comes from this. You're going to have a more challenging life. You're going to have a more rewarding life. You're going to have more growth from being a lifelong learner. So many people never read a book after they graduate high school or after they graduate college. Never read a single book of somebody's life experiences. YouTube is a great venue out there. You've got Audible to listen to books. There's really no excuse for not being a lifelong learner. And it makes life so much sweeter to be that lifelong learner. It'll help your career, it'll help your marriage, help your relationships. It'll help you be a more interesting person. Lifelong learner. That was number 3. Number 4, always keep an emergency fund. Start off trying to get $1,000 of emergency fund. Things always happen with your health, with your car, unexpected payment on something. But build that to at least 3 months of your salary. So if you lose your job or need some money, you've got it. You don't have to borrow it from somebody else. You don't have to borrow it on credit cards. And that whole death spiral of living off credit cards just gets going because you couldn't have that emergency fund. So that's number 4. Number 5, and this is really important. You are a target for salesmen. You're 25 years old. You're new. You think you know everything, but there's a lot of wisdom that you're lacking just from life experiences. But you are a target for salesmen. Whole life insurance, really a loser. It's far better you get much more coverage with term and then save your money in a brokerage account. Your money will grow faster and you'll have more life insurance. Don't do whole life. Timeshares. People try to sell you timeshares, and then those are just money pits. I know one individual that ended up with a good deal, but I know about 10 that end up in horrible deals with life insurance. The fees associated with that, the allocations that come out for being an owner of a timeshare is just overwhelming, and I'm telling you, it's 99 out of 100 people think those are just absolute losers once they're into them. So timeshares, and you're a target, and they create excitement around these things. There'll be people out there wanting your investment money, and they want to work off commission, so you pay them 5% anytime you buy this or anytime you move this. 1% management of your funds. that is a massive. That 1% to manage your portfolio of investments ends up being a massive amount of money over 30 years. Ridiculous amount. So watch that. Hey, my favorite scam that I witnessed for the first time, actually, just a few weeks ago. I was helping an individual buy a car. That was their first experience. So I sat with them and we negotiated the price and got over there. We went through all that. That was all well and good. But then when we were running through the total, they had, here's the price of the car. Here was taxes and, a couple other line items that, just there. But then they had $1,000 for GAP. And I said, what's GAP? And he said, that's gap insurance. I said, what is gap insurance? Well, when you buy a $30,000 car, and if you went out and totaled that $30,000 car, and that car is actually depreciated. So you've got a $30,000 loan for this car. The car went down in value to $22,000. When you totaled it, you actually owe, you have to pay back the $30,000. So that 30 down to 22 is an $8,000 gap. This insurance for $1,000 will cover up to $3,000 of that gap. Well, folks, that's insane. You're paying $1,000 for the opportunity to, if the accident is your fault and you total the car, you can get a maximum of $3,000 back. That should be a crime. And the person didn't even detail it. It was just kind of rolled in. It was just, hey, you got the price of the car, you got the taxes, you got your gap, here's the total, write the check for this amount. And if I wouldn't have stopped right then and asked what it was and listened to him waffle a little bit, we would have paid an extra $1,000 for that car. The message is you are a target. Take time to understand everything you're spending money on. Don't make a decision in the moment. Think about it for 24 hours. Think about it for 48 hours. Find a confidant that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think about that? Make sure it's a good decision for the long view. You are a target. That was number 5. Hey, and I got a bonus one. I just put this one in for fun. What would I tell my 25-year-old self? Take $10,000 and buy Apple stock. Take another $10,000 and buy Google stock. Buy Tesla stock. Buy Amazon stock. You will have no problems in the world. If I told my 25-year-old self that, put $10,000 in each one of those, probably have $200 million today. So that's the comedy for today. This is Joe out.